Hey, Future Dennis here after having played a solo version of Propolis, which you're about to watch. And I just wanted to let you know a couple things. One, this is my very first playthrough, so there's a few times we go over and double check on the rules. I might still have made some mistakes even after having played, but nonetheless, we'll probably end up doing a second round of this. If you enjoyed it as much as I did actually filming this is my very first playthrough overall when it comes to this channel. I typically do unboxings. So if you are somebody who enjoys this, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to kind of give me an indicator that you want more of these types of videos. And I will probably try to do my best to have it set up for actually playing on the camera, because right now my camera is set up for other type of YouTube videos that I produce on the platform. So we'll go ahead and start adjusting some of this stuff if this is something you enjoy a lot more, as well as continuing to do unboxings, which is what we also focus on here on the channel. Welcome to the playthrough of Propolis. This is going to be our solo mode, and this is actually going to be my very first playthrough here on the channel. So, forgive me for a little bit if there's a couple things maybe a little cut off. I'm trying to get everything perfectly on screen here for us, as well as learning this game as I'm actually playing as well too. So I'm going to do more so playing than strategizing, which is how I typically like to play games, because obviously there are possibilities of choosing things throughout this game that will benefit me at the end for points, but I just want to for sure get the mechanics down, and then as I play through later, be a little bit more strategic. Now, in solo mode here for Propolis, they do have all the cards here available for us, and depending on the difficulty level, we can take some of the additional cards out, which actually pushes the game to go faster, and that actually ends the game much quicker for us. So we're going to keep it with all 16 cards, I believe it is. And then we did get our starting card, and I did give the other opponent a card as well too, just so we could see who goes first. And I had the lower structure number here, so I'm going to go first. But before I do that, I did increase my resources based off of the cards here. And then I do know I have a fixed resource over here for the yellow flower. And then I do get 2 points for every A and B flag that I get in the game as well too. I just noticed too, each one has like a different little icon on the bottom, which is nice. I'll see if I could maybe get that in there. Probably not. My camera's kind of set up where I can't actually see what's on there right now just because of my current setup, and hopefully I'll be adjusting that in the future. So let's go ahead and get this started. Now, I'm not going to be explaining necessarily the rules, but I just want to kind of give a quick heads up of how this is going to look. This is obviously my player board. The opponent doesn't have a player board. They just kind of will take things over as we play. So this is things that we could purchase. These are the palaces. We can each have one palace. And these right over here are going to be the cost to be able to purchase these things, whether it's from the resources here or with our fixed resources. So the more fixed we get, the easier it's going to be to buy. Anything with the bee icons, whether it's one or multiple, we have to get rid of those bees to be able to purchase. And then we could add more bees by going onto these cards, as well as increasing the resources on this player map. All right, so that's pretty much the basics that I know, as well as, the turn actions that I can take. So the first turn action I think I'm going to do, and again, I'm not going to strategize too much here at the moment, but obviously we do need to kind of plan a little bit ahead, right? So I am going to go into, I'm going to go in here, and I am going to go in here. So I actually do have to stand these beeples up. Yes, these are called beeples. I hopefully gonna get that zoomed in. I did have an unboxing on this video too, by the way. So if you do want to see all the pieces in a lot more detail, I will have them for you in that. Okay, so for solo mode, the opponent takes the first action. If they can't, they take the second. And if they can't do either, they take all of their bees off of the actual market over here. So I just need to go through here and see. So this one has 2 bees, or has all of his bees going down on the leftmost second row here. So it's just going to be here. So this essentially takes up space on the board for me not to be able to go. I'll put it on the game box. So then my next move, so let's see here. I have technically 2 yellows and 3, because I'm thinking about maybe going here, because I just need a blue and a yellow to be able to get this. And then I have to obviously give up a B, which is not too bad. Or I can do, I'm close to this one too, so I just need like a yellow. I can get 4 yellow here. So none of them are yellow and blue except for the one that the opponent took, which actually was going to be potentially my next one. So that was a good move. Opponent, good move. So this one here actually is one I could buy right now. And I do get 2 beeples, I believe. That's what that icon is right over there. I could double check. Yeah, that's actually gaining 2 beeples. That's actually not too bad. I might end up just going ahead and purchasing this. It is worth 2 points, and it does have a C banner on there as well. I don't have to sell any of my beeples. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 1, 2, 3, 1, and 1. And then I get 2 of my beeples. So, which is nice because that means I don't have to spend time going into there to be able to get that. I'm just going to go ahead and stack these. I am going to be limited on space here for this recording, obviously, based off of, the screen and everything, as we can see here. All right, so let's see what the opponent chooses to do. So this one says on row 1, which is this one up here, they're going to put all their meeples down over here. So again, they don't technically have the resource board, but they will because they go on here, get an additional beeple on their side. By the way, I did forget to fill this. So this all slides, and then we have a new building go up. By the way, I like the artwork here. It's super simple, but super cute at the same time. All right, so let's see what we have going on. Okay, so we obviously lost a lot of, or spent a lot of resources to be able to get this item here. And so now we can start looking up here. We're really close to this one, right? We just need to give up 1 B, and then we just need 2 of the light pink flowers, but there are none available for us to go ahead and purchase. By the way, at the end of every person's turn, we had to check for majority here, which means if all of the cards are filled up, we count who has the majority. The other thing I can do too is I can lay these bees down and get that same resource once again. And that wouldn't be too bad because I can go up on the blue and the orange here for us. By the way, I do also want to mention this as well too, and I don't think I did mention this in the unboxing. I like that these colors also have different symbols for somebody who might be colorblind. I do have a friend who is, so I actually always appreciate when companies do that when it comes to color-coded things, that they also have a symbol next to them as well. So let's see here. We got some work to do here. There's no more pinks. So this right here, oh, I technically also have a wild resource. I did forget that. So I do have a wild resource, which is really nice. I can go ahead and spend it to actually go and purchase this right now. And again, I don't have any clear plan just yet. In order to win the game, typically it's whoever gets to the first 10 structures, including one of your castles here. In the solo mode, if this goes through twice, so if I go through the solo deck and then go through it a second time, the game ends with each of us taking one last turn. But again, if you played it on harder difficulties, there's less cards. So I can actually go ahead and purchase this, which I think I'm going to do because we did gain some extra meeple or beeples, so I can go ahead and spend. So it's going to cost me 1 yellow, but I already have a permanent yellow, and it's going to cost me 2 of the pink. So I'm going to spend 1 from the regular resource and then 1 from the wild. And then I do have to give up a maple. So sad. Or beeple. I got to get used to saying beeple. I think it's so cool. I like that. All right, so we have a new one up here now. And now it's going to be for the opponent's turn. All right, so this one says that they have to go, I believe that means on a particular one. So I just got to read the rules on this one here. So this one says deploy the beeple on the first open left to right card with the indicated resource type. Always deploy the maximum number of beeples provided the solo opponent has enough. Okay. So there is no more on there. So we actually can't even do that. So then the other option is the bottom one. It says construct the leftmost structure from the market on the indicated row, which would be the second row here. So they would purchase this one right over here on their side. Now we did talk about how they don't actually collect the resources and whatnot. I guess you could if you really wanted to, but I don't think that would help because obviously they don't have all those given resources. So we'll stack them up like this. I'm gonna move these little meeples back on screen here. All right, so now it's back to my turn. So now I had to recall that I do have some permanent resources now, which is really good, but I think it's time for me to go back in and start increasing. So I do have opportunity to do some orange, and there's a card here that has 3. And when I go into a card, I can put all 3 of my meeples down, which would be really powerful. So that would put me up at 3, which would be definitely good for this, and even getting close to this here as well. But I just want to play a little bit of an attention here, is that this one has 1 orange and 1 purple, which has like that wheat symbol on there. But I'm not really needing anything from that right now. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go here. And again, I do need to make sure that these are stacked up tall, just because if I did want to go back in there again, I can just lay them all down, and that would be worth additional points. So 1, 2, 3 for that one. All right. So now for the other player, it's blue, which actually they can't do either. So then they put the meeples on the second row, all on here, so long as they have enough meeples. Now we're getting close. So if anybody goes onto this card here, then at the end of that player's turn, we can go in and get majority. And I also believe if you are the last player on, or if you are the player on the last card, you also get a wild resource. Let me just double check that. Because that does make a difference, right? Like even if I didn't necessarily need either one of those, yellow or purple myself, that would be good for me. Yeah, so I will get that. I just double checked. Okay. So for my turn, let's see here. We do have enough for this one, because then that'll get us 1 blue permanent. I like kind of building up. This kind of reminds me of Splendor a little bit, right? Where I'm like building up these here to kind of continue to make it easier to build more for the future. And I do know that these, I believe up here, if I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure these ones all here have to be from the permanent ones. So I could also start planning on that for endgame. So I like this. This is like, there's like building up and kind of putting things together here for us. So if I could buy this without having to do too much more, I could also go here and pick up my yellow and purple a little bit more for some other future purchases, plus get the wild resource, which I like the idea. Let's go ahead and do that. Plus, if we finish this, 1, 2, 3, 4, they're going to actually have the majority. Which is not cool. I don't want to give them the majority, because giving them the majority, I believe, let's see, if there is a winner, the winner player immediately takes back all their beeples and then that row and adds them to their personal supply. If this player is not the active player, they immediately gain 1. Well, I guess getting the resource is not really important to them. They're just taking up space. So if I go here, I will kind of force them back all over there. So then I'm going to pick up my yellow. I think in a normal game too, that would have been really nice. And I'm going to move up my wild resources. Okay, so now, so they are going to have all of their meeples pulled back because they now have the majority here. And then it is one of these 2 cards does go away. So I got to see here. All right, so I had to move the rightmost completed card, and then the slide, and then we get another one right over here. Okay, so lots of things happen all at once there. So let's go back to the solo player. So now they put all their beeples on the orange, but I think it's on the top. Let me just double check that too. Okay, so yeah, because this is the main one that they have is there. Now, if, oh, you know what? I think I did make a mistake. One of the times I said like there wasn't a spot. If that shows up again, technically, like for example, if this showed up again and there was no more orange, I'd actually put this laying down. So I think I made that mistake. I think we're good. I'm good making mistakes early in the game that we're, learning, because that's how we get better at it and pay more attention. So I just wanted to check on that. So yeah, that goes on there. Okay, so now it is back to me. I am running out of beeples, by the way, so we get to be a little cautious with that. Going in here, I can only put into 3 spots, but that would give me 3 yellows, but then also an additional wild resource since it was the last one there. Or, yeah, last card there. And I would get the majority. But I don't get an extra wild card or wild resource because I am the active player. So just kind of something to keep in mind there. But I get all my meeples back. Is that what I want? Do I want a lot of yellow? What do we have for yellow here? We have 3 for this, which I already have 3. So we don't really need that too much. I could actually just go buy this and I get 2 more meeples or beeples, and I can get them from right over here. It's worth 1 point as well. I like this idea. That way I can keep my cards in here. So let's go ahead and purchase this. So I need 3 orange, 1, 2, 3. And I need 3 yellow, so I got 1 permanent, and then 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and buy this. That also helps us with our end points right over here, because for every A-B combo we have, we're going to get 2 points. So I'm going to get 2 beeples right over here. This is going to slide. And then this becomes the leftmost. All right, this one gives you 1 point for every 2 yellow you have, including permanent. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and flip this over here. And that one is leftmost, or not leftmost, sorry. Anything with an orange. And since we have an open orange, it goes in there. And I am just curious, does it just go on the orange or does it go on all of them? So I'm just reading the rule here. In the solo mode, it says deploy the worker bee on the first open from left to right cards with the indicated resource type. Always deploy the maximum number of beeples. Okay, so always deploy the maximum. So technically this one will have it here, and these ones will go here too. Okay, that one was a fix from the last time they went. All right, so it's back to me now. I'm thinking I might actually just clean this up a little bit more, just so we have a better idea of what we're working with here. So we're running low on resources, but we do have a level 2 for the purple and a level 2 for the blue here. So, and I do have 1 wild resource, so good thing to keep in mind. And if I go into any of these, actually either one of these, if I decide to go there instead of purchasing, which I don't even think I can, I will get that 1 wild resource as well. So I could either get, because I have enough for the 4 to get 4 yellow, so that's going to bump me way back up. That's going to get us close to this. Or I can do a blue, which will get me to 3 and a yellow. And a 3 blue will get me close to this one here if I end up going for it. Let's see. Plus that wild. That one's going to be nice. But I like being able to get 4 back up on that yellow, because even though yellow seems to be the highest with the tracker here and probably the easiest to purchase overall, I just like going up that much more. Okay. But this is a for sure 3 that I need. So let's go ahead and go here. Plus I'm going to get the majority. I guess that's not going to make a difference though. Okay, so since I go here, so 1 on the blue, 1 on the yellow, and because that's the last card in that list, I'm going to go up 1 on the wild. Now we check for majority, which I do have, so I get all of my beeples back. And then the rightmost card goes out. The slide, and then that one gets in there. Okay, now it is my opponent's turn. Okay, so they are going to put down meeples on the second row. Beeples. Putting down the beeples. Okay. Now, really quick as well, too, I did want to mention if you are enjoying the playthrough here and want to help support us out, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so we can continue to grow the channel and make more content. So now it's back to me. Getting another wild plus the 4 yellow looks pretty good here, because otherwise we have 1 orange and 1 blue, and I'm pretty good with blue unless I want to go for this next round, or I can technically do it now because I have 2 wild resources, but I do have to give up 2 bees, and I have enough right now to give up 2 bees, and that gives me 2 permanent yellows plus my 1 permanent, which will help up here, and that would get me any of the ones with the yellow to at least kind of start moving in that direction, and that one needs 3 yellows, so that would be a much easier way to go. I like the idea of permanent yellow. I think I'm going to go... Yeah, just trying to think which way to go. I like that one a lot. So, let's see, 2. Dang, that one takes 7 orange. That's quite a bit. Okay, so I am going to go over here. So I'm going to put on the blue and then the orange. So 1 on the orange, 1 on the blue. Oh, you know what else I could do? I could fortify those ones, and that's 3 orange all at once. I'll go ahead and leave it like that for now. Probably be a mistake. Why not? All right, so for my opponent, it is putting down on the first open card with the indicated resource, which we do have one available right over here, which then closes off the cards, which means we check for majority, and they have the majority. So all of these go back. This one comes off. And then we go ahead and put a new one in here. Now, I think I might have mentioned it, but in case I didn't, this one is I can swap out 1 resource for another as far as the indicator goes. So if I wanted to go down 1 on the blue, I can go 1 up on another color, or vice versa on any of those. So just kind of something to think about. So I might consider... I'm still going to be short on the yellow, which is the sucky part. I do have my wild resources. If I go here, I get 2 yellow and an orange, and I'll have enough to then purchase this. I just had to use up 1 of my wild resources. So I'll just do that for now, because I think that'll be the best move. So I'm going to get 2 on the yellow and 1 on orange. So 1, 2, and then 1. So that way next turn I can do that one. All right, so now my opponent... And that is going to be having that 1 down right there. So that is deploying on the first open on that section, which is the first row up here, which then puts them in the majority because that closes off that entire set right here. So we're going to go ahead and remove all these. So that actually even takes away the opportunity for those 3 or the 4 yellows, because that's going bye-bye. Okay. So that goes down. We have some multiple cards here that give you your meeples. Beeples. Yeah, I keep saying beeples now. So I used to saying meeples. Okay, so I could do the purchase here, or I could wait another turn and not have to use my wild. I can fortify these ones if I really wanted to, because all I need is 1 more orange to lock that in. So 1 more orange, but if I go here, I can do an orange and a purple, which I don't need purple right now, but I can do it for this later, and that'll help with the stuff up here. So I think I'm going to go that route. Oops. I hit my mic. All right, so we're going to go 1 orange and 1 purple on there. All right, so let's have the player go. Alrighty, so that one is all of the meeples that can go on the furthest left tile there. All right, so now back to me. Well, if I go here, I get one of each of those, and I get my wild. Now, in a normal game where I have other players, obviously they would be purchasing these cards, where the solo would be buying most likely the cards on the, I believe it's the leftmost. Yeah, it's the leftmost structures. So I kind of have an advantage of knowing like this one's not going to go away from me. But with multiple players, right, this is up to 4 players. So that would be something I'd need to really consider, like, okay, I need to take this now. So I had to play a little bit differently. In some ways, it's a good thing because I have some time to make different decisions. And I think I am going to play it a little bit different than I would with other players. So I'm going to go here because 2 things happen. So I go up on the pink, one up on the yellow. Because that was the last one there. I get the wild, and then I have the majority. So I get all of my beeples back. This rightmost one goes away, and we get a new card right over here. All right, so now the other player goes on the yellow. All right, so it'll go technically over here because it always starts in the first row. Okay, so now back to me. So I can buy this now. So, and I don't have to give up any of my wild resources, which now I'm at the max of 3. Obviously, I can't go higher than that. I technically could buy this. I just had to give up additional resources, but I like the additional 2 that I have up here. So, all right, so I need to give up a beeple. I need 3 yellows, but I have 1 already. So then I only need to go down 2. 1, 2. And then I need 3 orange. 1, 2, 3. And then I need 3 blue. 1, 2, 3. So I get to purchase this one. Look at that. I got 3 yellows permanent now, plus a 1 pointer, and it's a bee banner. Let's go ahead and slide all these. Okay. All right, now it's my opponent's turn. We're getting close to going down on this deck that I had to reshuffle. And remember, the first time I get to reshuffle, the second time I draw the last card, that is a game indicator or game ending indicator for us. All right, so it's for the yellow, and we're going to go here on the second row to cover these up. So far, the opponent hasn't really hindered me too much. It did earlier in the game, but nothing too bad right now. Okay, so let's see. We have 1, 2, 3 yellows here. And we also have a permanent pink. And so if we got a permanent orange, we can technically buy this property and castle. Because that's a 3-pointer. This is a 4, and this is a 4-pointer. So that's also something to consider. And I'm not rushed right now, but I will need some more resources very soon because I'm running low here. I could buy this one, which is 2 of the blue for permanent, and I just need to use up one of my wild resources. And since I'm maxed out, this might be a good way to go instead of putting more meeples down, just because I will get that automatically. I do have to give up 2 beeples, though. That's a lot. All right, let's do that. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3 of those, and then 1 of those. So I'll take this one here, and then I'll say goodbye to those. All right. So let's flip over this new one here. Okay. All right, so I made my purchase. So just kind of like looking around for the future here, right? In a normal game, I wouldn't be saying all this out loud, but right here, I have just 1 more of the pink ones that I need, which are actually none on the field. So that's actually not cool. But there's this one here that I would just need 1 orange, and there's a couple of those out on the field. This one needs 1 of all of them, and this one needs 2 pink and a purple. But the other thing to consider is that some are worth 4, some are worth 3. So if I want to have the highest chance of winning the highest points, I should probably go for one of those other ones, but just kind of playing out loud right now. I think I could play it a little safe and try to get one of the orange as well, just in case if getting close to the end of the game, I might have to, just buy this one. That's fine. But that also leads me into having this one here as well too. So getting an orange, this one would require 3 yellow, which I even have as a permanent. And I have 1 of the pinks and then 1 pink resource. Plus I could buy it with this resource here. And I also just forgot, because I'm just talking out loud about my ideas. I think it's the other player's turn right now, but I was just kind of playing out loud for what I want to do, because I just bought this one here. All right, so that's actually really funny. I really did forget if it was my turn or their turn. I'm just gonna have it play as their turn right now, because I'm pretty sure I had just bought my stuff. So let's just go with that. It's okay. I make mistakes. All right, so the purple. So there are actually no more purples. Or actually, there are no purples on the board. So they go ahead and get to buy anything. Not buy anything. They buy the leftmost property here, which is going to be actually no points for them. That works out really well for me. Okay. Ooh, a pink. That helps me out a lot. But what's funny is it being on the leftmost is very dangerous for me. So I could either A, try to buy something quickly here if I can. Now that it's my turn, I got to remember that. Or try to buy this, but that takes 6. I can get at least 3. Ooh, that's a little risky. Okay. Opponent. Okay, opponent. I see you. I see you challenging me. I could buy this one, and then that will slide things up. So I'd be playing strategically against how the how the opponent plays. All right, because they would always buy the leftmost, and I really want this one. But buying this here, I would have to take up 2 of my wild resources. And give up a beeple. But I would get another blue, which is not necessary for this moment. But I think I will do that. So I had to give up 2 of the wild resources and then 1 of the pinks. I'm going to buy this one here. And then we're going to slide those across. I'm going to play a new card. Okay. And now it is my opponent's turn. All right, so purchasing the leftmost on the second row. Okay. Man, they're getting unlucky here with all the properties that they're buying don't really have any points. Although, if they end up getting some of these things, that might help them long term too. Okay, so this is a little bit safer now. And so I can now play it a little bit more strategically. I'm going to go ahead and lay down and fortify these 3 here, which opens up this 1, 2, 3 times there. Now it's back to my opponent, and they're going to buy the leftmost. So that was great. That was really great, because that would have sucked to have lost the other one. Now, that's not to say that there's not any other pink cards, but that's the one I really want. That looks cool. Okay. So I need 6 total. All right. So, okay. So one of the things I can do, because all I need is just a bunch of orange, right? So I'm thinking, I could just retreat my meeple or my meeples and kind of go here again. Hopefully that the opponent doesn't end up going in there. So that might be my best shot. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to retreat those meeples. I can retreat as many as I want, but I think I'm going to leave those ones there for now. Now, if by chance you end up liking Propolis while you're watching this playthrough, one of the things you can do to help support us out is checking out the link in the show notes down below. That will take you to a page to go ahead and purchase. That just helps us out so we can make more content just like this, as well as additional unboxings. All right. So that one right there, it is the deploy the worker beeples on the first open card in the matching row, which is the first row, obviously. So that's going to be these ones right over here. All right. So now it's my turn. Now what's cool is going back here. Not only do I get my 3 plus, I get a wild resource as well too. So that was a good move. Obviously there was some risk, right? If they ended up going onto that, that would have hurt me pretty badly. So 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then I get my wild resource. And then we check for the majority, which actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they have 4. So I actually get my beeples back, so I don't have to use that as an action. But this does go away, so that opportunity is gone. And we bring out this next card here. All right, so now my opponent's deck gets shuffled. So I'm gonna try to shuffle this here off the side for a second. These are so tiny, such tiny cards even for my hands that I'm just like, ah. I will say though, the interesting thing with the higher difficulty levels is that you're supposed to take out cards and not actually see what they are when you take them out, so you don't know like what's being removed. I wonder what happens if all of the cards that like pull from here end up getting removed from the game. How does that work? Be interesting. All right, so now once we pull the rest of this deck, game is over. All right, so that goes on the purple. I guess that's the pink. Sorry, the pink. I'll go there. Okay, so now it's back to me. And I'm going to go ahead and buy this one here. So that cost me 6, which is going to be all of my orange resource. And I do have to give up a beeple, which I got plenty right now. So we're going to go ahead and take that. We're going to have that. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So I would be ending the game pretty close here too, because I just need two more structures to be able to force the last round. Okay, so now it's the opponent's turn. So on the yellow, so they can't perform that because they don't have any more meeples or beeples. And then so their second action, they can't do that one either, which means that they retreat all of their beeples as the thing that they can do on their turn. All right, so for me, I can now purchase, and I have enough for this one here. And this one actually only cost me 1 less B than this one here. Now, I know I don't actually have the purple just yet, or the orange actually. Oh, I thought I did actually have the orange, but nonetheless, that cost me 3 Bs, and I don't even want to give it as many Bs. So for this one, this is the only like mega estate I can get. So I have the 2 yellow, the 2 blue, and the 2 pink to be able to buy this as my turn. So now it's my opponent's turn. So they're going to go down on the second. Oh, hold on. Sorry, if it's the meeple with the like big arrow going off to the side, that's actually fortifying the meatball. Yeah, okay. I guess I was going to almost do the same thing anyway. So it's going to go here to block those. So now I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So at 9, what can I do here? I don't have a lot of these resources, but I do have, obviously, some permanent resources that I could probably end up finishing this game right here, which I could with this. I could do it with this. That's 1 point. But is there a better option just before I end? Because I want to make sure. Like this one would give me 1 point for every 2, right? So that's at least 1 point and then 2 points. So what does that cost me? I would need 2 and 3. So that's going to cost me a lot more, but it would get me more points. This is worth 4 frickin' points. That's not bad at all. I would need purple and pink, which there's not a lot on the field for that either. And the thing that was generating the most orange is gone. Okay, so what else do we have? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to claim this one and finish the game here. I don't know why I'm doing this part right here. I'm just, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My opponent has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they were just so unlucky to get pretty much all of the ones without points for the most part. And then their additional points for the BC, they didn't actually even get any of those. Poor opponent. But keeping in mind, this was the easy mode, so I still had a lot of cards to go through. And the harder mode, I would have less cards, so I would have probably been close to the end of drawing all the additional ones. So here, you can see I got 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 just on those. And then I get, let's see here. I got another 1. Well, that's 2 points. So that's another, I forgot where I was at. Because that's 2 points right there. And then this counts as a wild. So that's another 2 points. So that's 4 points between these two here. I forgot what the base point was. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's 15 points from right over here. Double checking to see what else there was as far as points. Oh, technically too, beforehand, my opponent would have one chance to have at least one more turn to match up the amount of turns I took as well. Okay, so this was the part I just needed to bring up as well too, to kind of go over. So any unused resources, I add them all up, and then I divide it by 5, and then round down. So I don't have a lot of points here, so that's, 2, 3. So that's not going to be any points on there. But if I had, for example, 9 here, and then 10, and then divide that, that would be, 2 points. And double checking. So what's really cool about this game is that they have achievements here, which I don't know if I've ever seen that in a board game. I've played video games that have achievements, obviously. So you could put your name on one of these and whatever symbol, so you can kind of keep track of which achievements you've accomplished. So for example, today we actually got exactly 15 points. So I would have accomplished that one. And as I continue to play, maybe get better at the game, strategize a lot more, I can start trying to get, 40 plus points. And then there's a whole bunch of other ones here, like have 5 plus of the guild banner letters, have all your workers in personal supply at the end, which I didn't have. But that's things I can kind of focus on and work on if I wanted to try to accomplish this. So I think that's really cool. Something different. I haven't seen that before. So I would say this was really fun. Even for solo, it didn't seem as challenging, but I was on easy mode. I'm curious about, the purchasing, right? So those are going to be like the +1 right there, or the +2, right? So obviously these meeples are to take up all the resources spots. But as far as them drawing the cards, now I understand why it's the leftmost, because it's just probably the easiest. I think it would be interesting to play it a little bit too, where maybe if it is taking one of the cards here, that it's like somehow randomized. That would make it a little bit more challenging, because I was able to kind of manipulate the board here, knowing that this was the only card that they were going to take, which was this one over here from earlier, because I wanted it. Or wait, was it this one? One of the cards I wanted, I was able to manipulate the board to kind of slide that way for my own sake. But maybe that's part of it. Maybe it just plays a little bit different for a solo mode than it does for 2 players, or 3 or 4 players as well. But this was my very first time ever playing. If you are watching this and notice any mistakes based off of the rules, let me know in the comments down below, because I will be probably trying this again, maybe even posting it as well too, depending on how the reception is for it when it comes to a playthrough. Like I said, this is my very first playthrough on this channel. It's usually unboxing games. That's kind of like the thing I like to do the most anyways, but this was a really fun time. I love the aesthetics of this game. I like the mechanics. It played really fun. And honestly, I could really see myself having a couple friends over and them enjoying this style as well, especially with, taking up these spaces and kind of forcing each other to play in different ways, which is something I love to do, because I don't really like the type of game. Well, I don't mind the type of games that pull people back when it comes to playing, but I also really like the worker placements where I go into certain spots and stop players from doing certain things, especially when I can understand the mechanics and how scores are going to be counted, where I could see their strategy playing out and then intentionally block them sometimes, even if it comes to my own apparel. It's just something I like to do anyways, but it's a lot of fun. We have a really fun game group that I think is going to enjoy this as well too. So maybe in the future I'll do a bigger playthrough with another player, or maybe I'll do some more single solo player versions for Propolis. Now that was the playthrough of Propolis, and we actually got a little bit more for you. We have our unboxing of Propolis that I'm going to post right over here, so you can go ahead and check that out right now.